What's up, party people? I'm Des with DesFit, and this is the new Fitbit Charge 3. Now, I've reviewed quite a few smartwatches and activity trackers, so as you can imagine, I look at what everyone is wearing on their wrist. I just kept on seeing Charge 2s everywhere, so I went out and purchased the Charge 3 just to see what this thing can really do. And if you're new to the channel, definitely check out some of my reviews of the Apple Watch Series 3, the Vivo Active 3, the Fitbit Ionic, and most recently the Galaxy Watch to get a better idea of the detail I like to provide. And it's mainly just so you can get a better idea of how the device is going to work for you. So definitely subscribe for the in-depth review of the Charge 3 that's coming in the next couple weeks. Today is going to be more of a hands-on first impression as well as a tour of the device. So the Charge 3 is kind of blurring the lines between a sports watch and an activity tracker, and they call it an advanced fitness tracker. It's going to be designed for both small and large wrists, and then on the side of the box we can see one of the main features, that it's going to be swim-proof, being water resistant down to 50 meters. It'll track your heart rate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in 5-second intervals, and then when you use one of the multi-exercise modes, as they call it, then it'll take your heart rate measurement every second. It also offers apps and notifications, which we'll check out here in a second, and then they also advertise up to 7 days of battery life. And then I bought the version with the black classic band in graphite aluminum. However, they do have a ton of different color options, and they also have a special edition version that also has Fitbit Pay. I'll go through a lot of the features listed on the back of the box a little bit later, but it does come with Fitbit's legendary sleep tracking, female health tracking, it highlights the swim feature again, it will connect to your phone to provide real-time pace and distance using your phone's GPS, and then I'm particularly interested in this cardio fitness level feature. It's basically going to be the same unboxing experience as any other Fitbit with a Charge 3 up top, and then let's put that aside for the moment, and then they also have instructions right here to download the Fitbit app. Underneath that flap, you'll find the included large strap for larger wrists, a USB Type-A charging clip, and then safety instructions and the warranty. So they kept things simple, and here's everything inside the box. For the Charge 3 itself, it's not super small like a lot of activity trackers out there, and I quite like that. The size and design definitely leads to the fact that it's more advanced than a basic tracker, but not necessarily a smartwatch or sports watch. First impressions, this thing is really quite attractive. I really quite like this pattern on the band, and I have to say that Fitbit did a great job with the design on this. It's got a nice svelte buckle, and then on the back of the device we have Fitbit's Pure Pulse heart rate sensor that also has an SpO2 sensor. The bands are interchangeable, and these are quite literally a snap to use, and that's something I can't necessarily say about the Versa. And then under the hood, there's also going to be an accelerometer as well as an altimeter, but as I mentioned earlier, it does not have onboard GPS. You'll actually have to connect it with your phone during activities for the most accurate distance. But overall, I really quite like the look and feel here. It does not feel cheap in the slightest way, and this will definitely be a device that a lot of people can wear. For setup, make sure to download the Fitbit app, and then you'll connect the Charge 3 to its charging clip, and then it'll automatically turn on. And then the process is going to be rather simple, although just like any other tech device these days, there's going to be the inevitable firmware update. Unfortunately, this does take a little while, just like the Versa and Ionic before it, so it may be like 15 to 20 minutes or so before it goes through the entire update process. But during the update process, it'll have a nice little walkthrough of what you can do with it, and then make sure to click to enable notifications for calls. And then here's where it mentions the 15 plus goal-based exercise modes along with Fitbit's Smart Track automatic exercise recognition. And then after it updates, it'll automatically turn on, so now we can actually put this thing on. The wearability of the Charge 3 is really nice, and I have about 190 millimeter circumference wrist, and the small band just barely fits. I'll probably rock the small band just so I don't have a bunch of extra bands sticking out. But now let's take a look at the interface on the new touchscreen that's supposed to adjust to different lighting conditions. If we swipe up, we can first see the battery percentage, and then below it, you'll find the health and activity data, including your steps, hourly activity, heart rate, distance, calories, floors climbed, and then active minutes. When you swipe down, it'll show your notifications, and then when you swipe left, it'll show your apps. On the first screen, we have exercise, which will have 6 activity profiles of the 15 plus that are available, and I'll show you the entire list here in a second. But you will have access to some settings in here, like for outdoor activities like run and bike, you can choose to use connected GPS with your phone. And then for swim, you can actually choose your pool length as well as yards or meters. And then when you go to start an activity, here's where you can set a goal. Next up, we have the Relax app, which offers a 2-minute and 5-minute option. Next, we have a stopwatch and countdown timers. And then below that, we have alarms, which you'll set up in the Fitbit app, which we'll see here in a second. And then on the last screen, we have weather that also shows a couple days ahead. And then you can also add additional locations in the app. And then finally, we have settings, which allows you to choose the brightness setting of auto, dim, or normal or strong vibrations. You can turn heart rate on or off. You can choose to have notifications come through when you sleep. And finally, just an about page where you can reset the device. In terms of what you can do in the Fitbit app, you can choose between 5 different watch faces, you can browse through these 6 apps that are available, and then here's where you can add the location for weather. But that does appear to be all the apps that are available, at least for the moment, so I'm not sure if they're planning on adding more. But moving on, you can choose which wrist to put it on. Then you can set up silent alarms, which you can do by day, which is pretty nice. Then you can manage notifications, which allows you to choose text, calls, and calendar events. But below that, you can choose which apps to allow notifications, which is really nice. Next up, you have reminders to move, which you can set up for certain times throughout the day. And then you can choose your main goal for the day. And then finally, we have the exercise shortcuts. And then here we see the 6 exercise shortcuts you can have set up at any given time with options depending on the activity. Like for running, we have the option to use connected GPS as well as cues. The interval workout is interesting because it gives you the option to use connected GPS. And then you can set your move and rest periods as well as how many times you want to repeat the sets. But to see the rest of the workout profiles, you'll actually need to delete one of the 6 that already exist. And then you can see the entire list of workout modes. And then here's a full list of the profiles. And then the last option is whether you want to enable or disable all-day sync. All right, so that was just a not so quick rundown of the menus and the interface, but I did already have a chance to test it on a few indoor workouts, and things are looking pretty good for heart rate. As you can see here, it's following the trends pretty closely, even when I had to adjust my bike trainer a few times. It was nearly spot on with max heart rate, and it was maybe about 3 to 5 seconds behind a chest heart rate strap, which is pretty good. So these were just my first impressions of the Charge 3, and I definitely have a lot more testing to do, but what I have to say so far is that I'm really enjoying the size of this device. I generally wear a watch on each wrist because I'm testing so many watches, and the smaller size is just so nice where I kind of just forget that I'm wearing it. I can definitely understand why the Charge 2 was so popular. Anyhow, I'll be testing the Charge 3 over the next couple weeks just as thoroughly as I test any other device, so make sure to subscribe to get a notification when that video comes out. But in the meantime, have fun in your fitness, and we will see you in the next video.